Am I the asshole for assuming my baby could come to a Super Bowl party? Wife and I, late 20s, got invited to a Super Bowl party yesterday. We have a 15-month-old. I assumed with the invite, our kid was invited too. It was a text invite saying this is happening at this time and this place. No other details. In my history of going to Super Bowl parties, they've always been family friendly. So I didn't think twice about bringing my kids to my buddy's house. We are on the West Coast and it's over by 8. So it's a day thing, and not really a late night. Apparently, my kid was not invited, and my buddy who hosted wasn't happy he was brought over. We had a discussion that turned into an argument, and we left. He never mentioned no kids. But am I the asshole for assuming he could come? Let me just say, your title is massively misleading. A baby can be held in your arms, can be comforted with a bottle, or a passy, or a small toy. A baby is generally cool, as long as someone is holding him and looking at him. A 15-month-old is a toddler. A walking, talking ball of potential catastrophic destruction, very different things at an adult party. Signed, a mother of 4. Edited to add, verdict, you're the asshole. You should have verified that your toddler was welcome. Barring that, you should have accepted with grace that your toddler was not welcome when informed by the host. Should the host have stated no children in their invitation? Emphatically, yes. However, it is your responsibility as the steward of your child to ensure that they are welcome and properly behaved in the given circumstance. Everyone sucks here. He should have been clear about kids or no kids. And you should have asked for clarification, especially in your 20s, when likely a smaller percentage of the group has kids. Most Super Bowl parties I've been to in my 30s are family friendly, and Tibaha, if they were not, I'd expect that to be stated up front. We are all in our 40s now. I do not have kids, but just assume others will bring their kids to any gathering we have, unless otherwise specified. 2 couples are child-free, and all the others have kids, so it's not practical to not invite them, the way it might have been 15 years ago. You're the asshole. I think as a parent, it's your responsibility to ask if your child is welcome, especially when the child is a baby. A Super Bowl party is likely an event with open alcohol and loud noise, cheering and shit. These don't seem like baby-friendly events. I think this is on you for assuming everyone wants to be around a baby while at a party. Am I the asshole for moving out instead of sharing my living space, which is causing a problem for my mom and her boyfriend? My dad passed away when I, female 16, was like 3. We lived in a house that my grandparents own, and they agreed to let my mom and I live there, rent-free. Over the years, whenever my mom dated, I tried to spend the nights she had guests over at my grandparents' house. When I was 10, my grandfather renovated the basement to make me my own kind of apartment. I have my own bathroom, kitchen, and living room to go with my bedroom. My mom met a guy last year and it got serious. He moved in with his 2 kids, which is fine by me. My mom deserves to be happy and have someone in her life. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs, so it is perfect. 1 for them and 1 for each of his kids. Everything was going according to plan, until the kids asked where I was staying. I said I lived on the basement. They made a joke about me loving in my mom's basement. I invited them down to play Mario Kart, to be sociable and to show off, if I'm being completely honest. I have a couch my uncle gave me and my dad's old lazy boy in the living room. The recliner is only for me, and all my friends know that. The kids started complaining that it wasn't fair that I got all this room to myself. One tried sitting in my chair, even after I told her that it was only for me. I settled that immediately. It's mine. After a few races where I demolished them, I said it was time for them to go back upstairs. They said no. I called my mom to come get them. Over the course of the next week, my mom started hinting that maybe my living room should be a common area. I said no. She started insisting. I said no. She has a key to my door. I never locked my door unless she had guests. I did start locking it when Dan and his kids moved in. I came home from school and found the kids in my living room. They had also gone into my room, and they were eating my snacks that I pay for myself. I yelled and told them to GTFO. I called for my mom to explain why they were there. She said that she decided it wasn't fair that I got almost 1/3 of the house to myself and that my TV and gaming systems should be shared. I said, fuck that. She got really upset with me and said it was a done deal, so deal with it. My grandfather and he and my uncles came and got me, and all the things that matter to me, including my recliner. He told my mom that she needed to start paying rent if I wasn't going to be living there. I have a bedroom at my grandparents' house, but I miss my area. My mom is trying to get me to go back so they can save money to get their own place. Yeah, right? I'm not that dumb. She said that I need to stop being a brat and behave like an adult. I said I was living like an adult until you let those kids onto my area without permission. She tried to say she could do whatever she wanted in her house. Sometimes I think she forgets it wasn't my dad's house and she didn't inherit it. I feel a little guilty about this because my mom is actually pretty cool, and I hate that this is causing strain on her relationship. Am I the asshole? Edit. After talking to my grandparents, I have something to add. They were not happy about her moving her boyfriend and his kids in. They were going to allow it, since I lived there still. Them coming into my space, and my mom saying I had to share it, did not go over well with them. That's why they want to start charging her tent, especially after I moved out. Not the asshole. I'm glad you're standing firm, because your mother has absolutely no right to your living area, your things, your snacks, etc. They were provided to you from your grandparents, not from her. Unfortunately, some people can't be reasoned with, as you found out. You're probably going to find yourself going low contact when you're an adult. It's okay. You can love her from a distance and not become the person who supplies the deficits in her life. She's an adult. She should pay her own way, not steal from her daughter. I have to wonder if mom has told her boyfriend that the house is hers and he thinks she owns it. Then she acts like she owns it to save face so that he doesn't know she is lying. And then the grandparents help her daughter escape, and mom and boyfriend are suddenly stuck paying rent. Two working adults should be able to afford rent. I have to wonder if mom's boyfriend isn't with mom just for a free place to live. I can't help but wonder why the mom wasn't putting some of the money she was saving on rent into a savings account for a rainy day, since it seems the grandparents are from OP's paternal side. Not the asshole. Correction? I feel a little guilty about this because my mom is actually pretty cool. Your mom used to be pretty cool until the stepkids moved in. They are trying to force you to share the space that your grandfather made specifically for you. With entitled kids who don't respect you or your possessions, your mom is discovering the FAFO part of her delusion that your childhood home doesn't actually belong to her. And she deserves it for being a rotten mom. She should have been defending your privacy instead of letting her stepkids invade it. AITA, don't move back in. Your mom's BF's a freeloader. Honestly, your grandparents should have started charging rent as soon as he moved in. Did he move in because he cares for your mom or because it's free room and board? On top of that, with all the money they both saved on rent, they should already have enough for a deposit. What you saw is a preview of what's to come in your needs being pushed aside. Your mom wanted you to share. Now it's a shared space. She got what she wanted. Unfortunately, it wasn't the way she wanted. She decided that these people who moved in were more important than your long-term living situation. She could have simply shut it down, but chose not to. The question is she more unhappy you're not living there, or more unhappy that she has to pay rent? Not the asshole. Am I the asshole because I told my boyfriend not to chop raw meat and raw veggies together? My 20 female boyfriend was making us breakfast, and I walked into the kitchen and saw him chopping veggies we were going to eat raw on the same board as raw meat with the same knife. I said, "Oh my God, are those veggies with raw meat?" Honestly, just shocked. He blew up on me, slamming everything down, saying I'm overreacting and was speaking to him like a toddler and that he's never been sick from it. I explained, I've had food poisoning before, and just cause it hadn't happened doesn't mean it won't happen. And he continued to blow up on me, cussing and telling me it was going to be a million dishes and to just do it myself if I can cook better. I genuinely thought everyone knew not to mix raw meat with veggies. And I don't think I'm overreacting by being grossed out or by calling him out, but feel free to tell me if I'm missing something. Not the asshole. His reaction is alarming. Does he blow up often? You are not wrong. Cross-contamination should be taken seriously. No, he's usually pretty calm. I've even given him some really crappy news, and he's always handled it well. He's usually so calm, so I don't know if it's just because we're 6 mo in and he's been masking this whole time or what, but I plan to talk to him and discuss if he thinks how he acted was an okay reaction, because if so, then I think we had best part ways. It's not okay for him to cuss you out and throw a tantrum like that. Not the asshole. He sounds so immature and unwilling to educate himself on food safety. If this is his reaction to a minor incident, what's his reaction to a major one going to be? Please be careful with this hothead. Yeah, I'm honestly reconsidering the whole relationship. I plan to talk to him about it again and explain it's a deal breaker if he thinks that's an appropriate reaction going forward, because I just don't respect that. Am I the asshole for not paying a parking ticket for my makeup artists? So for context, I got married a few months ago, and hired 2 amazing makeup artists to come do our bridal party glam. They were great. Everything was great. However, I did inform them the morning of that they will need to pay for parking, but I can reimburse them. I only told one as they traveled together, and the other was driving. A week later, I received a DM of them asking me to pay for a $105 parking ticket, and I told them I'm not paying for it, as I advised them it is a paid parking area, and the $105 far exceeded the amount if they had just paid for parking in the first place, which would have come to around $35. I had already paid $980 between the two of them, $70 travel fee, and a security deposit of $100 each, which wasn't deducted from the full amount. That part I knew when booking. But I really don't want to pay the parking ticket. They are now blasting me on social media, and I'm feeling pressured to pay for it. So am I the asshole for refusing? Not the asshole. Ridiculous. I don't think this is any different than parking illegally outside my office. If I earned a ticket, I wouldn't ask my employer to pay it. As for the social media retaliation, I think you should do as much as you possibly can against them to mitigate the defamation, up to and including a restraining order if possible. And if they were late and got a speeding ticket, would they expect her to pay for that too? Nope, not the asshole. You gave them instructions with reimbursement promised, and they chose to disregard you. This is on them. A security deposit of $100 each, which wasn't deducted from the full amount. That part I knew when booking. That's not what a deposit is, let alone a security deposit. What property was this protecting? That's a fuck you, pay me fee. You see a shitload of them as soon as the word wedding is within a mile of your booking. Not the asshole. It was really their poor planning. Offer them the $35 you offered for parking and let them know the rest is on them. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.